CMMC can drive overall value of your business and not just about getting compliant. It's about new business contracts. It's about keeping business. It's about, at the end of the day, getting a higher valuation of your company.
So here's what I would tell you, right? Any good business that's going to scale, that wants to win multi-year awards from their customers, that wants to build 25, 50, 75, $100 million of backlog in the DoD space, which is what everybody wants to do. Every single one of those businesses has recognized now that it's not just about having your accounting and your tax and your insurance and all those other things really on point. They've now realized that kind of IT is actually kind of gone from, like, I'd say number 5 on the list to almost number 1 or number 2, right? Because if you are not in compliance in this area, it could really shut the entire business down.
The whole process developed with Avatara over the years. They ended up being in a position to very easily make us CMMC compliant. And we found that it was really critical. If you're not at the top of the food chain in your machine technology and your IT technology, you're just going to be a commodity. And so anyway, with their help, we were able to significantly improve margins by surpassing, what our competitors were doing in all those areas. If you're trying to figure this out on your own, you're just never going to get to the level that Avatara was able to allow us to get to. And it just gave us a competitive advantage.
I've been a dedicated investment banking, person to the aerospace defense industry my entire career. So for the last 25 years, I've done nothing but advise aerospace and defense companies on how to grow, how to access capital, how to think strategically. We've kind of been through, lots of different cycles within the market. And what I would tell you is, in the last, 6 years, I think we've sold 40 aerospace and defense companies, KEMCO being one of them, right? And, pretty much now our playbook in terms of actually advising a company on how to get ready to engage with outside capital, and let's just leave it at that. It could be equity capital, it could be debt capital, it could be a full sale. We've had to pull basically CMMC and IT compliance all the way up to the front. You got to remember that it's not just, some form filling out and some auditing, right? I mean, this is like a fundamental change in the way that the DoD is saying your business needs to operate from an IT compliance standpoint, right? So this is everything from mobile devices, this is, desktops, this is CNC equipment, this is, you name it, all the way out throughout the shop, and, video cameras and surveillance, right? There's a procedure that's in place for every single one of these things. So when we're working with a company and saying, how are you doing on accounting and tax? Are you compliant, right? Or how are you doing on insurance? What's your backlog really look like? These are the types of things in this area that IT that could actually shut your business down and can really, destroy a lot of value in the company. And then alternatively, done well, they basically put you at the top of the list and, could really unlock a lot of value in the company. I would tell you that if we got into a business and we were working with them and they had really high marks in these areas, and I think KEMCO is a great example, we have others, it probably has resulted in them getting another $5 or $10 million of valuation on their company when they went to sell, right?
What we found with Avatara was that we were able to reach, I guess, what we thought at least were the highest levels of what can be done in this department for a very reasonable cost. If we were to do what Avatara was doing for us in-house, it would cost us a multiple of what we spent, and therefore, multiple on the exit as well of that excess cost.
It's never too late to start. I think where I see the opportunity for someone who might be a late starter or hasn't started at all is to really get proficient quickly. And there's no way you could do that unless you outsource it. And then if you're at least doing that, I think you got a shot at staying in the mix. But I think people who believe that they're critically important and, these deadlines aren't going to really stick, probably won't see an immediate impact in their business this year or perhaps next. But what they probably won't know is that they're getting second source, with people who are compliant. And that crossover is going to be brutal, right? So in 2024, 2025, when the crossover really happens, it'll be too late, right? You won't be able to sort of catch up. So I think these deadlines aren't going to, bring the supply chain to a screeching halt. But I do think this is where people are going to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm a long-term player. I'm going to embrace this. and really make it a fundamental pillar of my business. And I think people have time to make that decision for the next, 18 to 24 months. I think beyond that, it's going to be pretty clear those that want to have staying power and those that, really won't and will continue to be sort of subscale, businesses.